This month on From Seed to Spoon, we're teaching you all about winter squash. We know we give you lots of them in your Perfectly Imperfect boxes, and we want to give you many ideas for how to prepare them. For this final week, we're back in Chef Katz's kitchen, and he's sharing one of his favorite recipes that he prepares for his own family.
So another option, if you're making breakfast pancakes or you're making a side dish to a meal, you can even grate the squash, and you could certainly just take this whole squash and grate it on the large whole side. And you just keep rotating. It almost looks like cheddar cheese. And there's a squash called cheddar squash, but this has a really nice yellow color. So I thought I would show you, now that we've grated some of our squash, I thought I'd show you a really simple recipe to make with the grated squash. And I have a little bit of onion that I had in my refrigerator. I have a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of salt, some cream, and I'm going to grab some eggs as well. So I just take all of these ingredients and I put them into my mixing bowl. And this is it's grated from about 1.5 pounds of squash. And I'm going to crack 2 eggs. Got that one. I have my salt. Just sprinkle salt to taste. A little bit of cayenne pepper, and this goes a long way, so be really careful. Seasoning. And if you like to add some other flavors to this, zested orange would be great in here. Cinnamon, nutmeg. You could even mix sort of your sliced squash with your grated squash, and it'll give you different textures. It would be great with some spinach. So really play with it and have fun with the recipe. And next, we are just going to stir this all together. And then I'm going to put that into our casserole. And I just have this little casserole here. This actually would be a perfect recipe to use for spaghetti squash as well, if you have that at home. And squashes really hold well on your counter. You know, they're great in a cool, dark place in your counter. They hold for a long time. They're called winter squash because farmers really hold them over the winter, and you're able to eat them, you know, all winter long when the other foods aren't growing. So flatten that out a little bit, and then I'll pour about a cup of cream over the top. And then I will put that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes. If you don't like it to have color on top, you can cover it, but I like to have some nice color. So next I'm going to show you how to roast the seeds. So we've gathered our seeds here, and I put them onto a foil-lined cookie sheet. And I'm just going to spread them out. I like to take a little bit of cinnamon. Cinnamon adds a nice heat. It's sort of a great alternative to pepper, but it also adds that, you know, it's known as that pumpkin pie spice. So I like to just drizzle a little bit of cinnamon on the seeds. A little bit of salt, and I use kosher salt. I like the grind of this salt, and it's easy to sort of see how many granules of salt are going on your food. And then I also like to take a little drizzle of honey, and it is, the squash is sweet, the seeds will not be sweet, so I like to add that element of sweetness, and it'll also help brown the seeds a little bit more as you bake them. And then I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm just going to spread those around. I will bake those in the oven at 325, and you'll actually smell a nuttiness in your kitchen when they're done. but I would say about 20 minutes.
That concludes our month-long series on winter squash. We hope you've learned a lot about how to store, slice, and prepare them, and that you've got a lot of new ideas for what to do with all that winter squash you'll receive in your Perfectly Imperfect boxes.